Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Paragon guide. I am Sylphin, and in this video we are taking a beginner's guide look into Riktor. We're looking at his skills, abilities, and how to best use that starter deck. So, ladies and gentlemen, Riktor is an energy damage tank that we are going to be playing today. Open up your select a deck screen and go for the starter deck tank energy damage. He, in my opinion, is quite a good versatile fighter. He can be a great fighter and a great tank, but we're taking a tank look in this video. Make sure that you toggle off the suggestions that you are taking a look here into all of the cards that are available to us. Start off with a health, a mana, and a scout sword for your first 3 cards. So, ladies and gentlemen, the very first ability that we are going for here in this early game is his E ability. It is a very good AoE ability that's called Electrocute. It's an AoE around Riktor that you can see we used it here, and you get a little area of effect notification, kind of a little area here that enables you to do damage. It does only 70 energy damage, but it will really help here in this early game get these minion waves cleared, maybe some last hits, and just help us get that early game advantage with card power. When you engage in the enemy and you are right in the middle of the fight, it is a good source of some damage. The second ability we are going for is definitely his Q. A very, very powerful ability on Riktor. It is his pull. He kind of shoots out his little spines here, his spikes, and you grab the enemy and pull them towards you. Very, very, very strong when you can pull an enemy out of their tower like this, and you kind of have all of your teammates here. A very, very cool ability that you can make a lot of plays with at any point in the game. So we have this Rampage here being a little bit aggressive. Let's try to come down here and try to body block for him, but it might... No, I didn't kill myself, so that is good. His Q is very, very powerful. If you have a good accuracy with it, you will certainly be able to do a lot. I'm going to pull this Feng Mao almost into my tower. I thought I would be able to get him into the tower, but it doesn't look like it. The last ability we go for is another kind of crowd control ability. Is called his Shock Therapy. So your next basic attack, your next whip, will do an extra 12 energy damage, but more importantly, will be a silence, and also will have a 50 max movement speed slow for 1.5 seconds. A very, again, powerful ability that you can use right at the appropriate time to get secure a kill on the enemy. So let's go here with the very first card, always a better ward. We want to upgrade our wards so that we have more of them, and so that they are also much more effective. That Scout Sword that we got early on, I didn't end up placing it just because there was so much going on there in that lane. That Scout Sword does not go invisible when you place it on the battlefield. The only time it does go invisible is when you place it in a shadow pad. So now that we have these shadow wards, they will go invisible, and they'll enable us to place them really wherever we want on the battlefield. So as you can see here, let's get rid of this lane, trying to last hit here to get that 3 times as much card power as we otherwise would have gotten. So let's use our E here, stand right in the middle of this lane wave, so we can do all of that damage to the enemy, trying to get those last hits. So here is the ward placement. I'm going to place it right up close, right there, so that it's a little bit closer to the enemy side, so we get a nice vision, an advanced warning of anybody trying to gank us. In terms of the skill priority here in this early game, I'm going to go with our E here at level 4, just because I want a touch bit of damage here in this lane phase, and then we will go into the more appropriate. I missed there with that hook, as you saw. Definitely could have been nice here. So let's see. Nope, don't walk towards me, Marielle. Thank you. So landing his Q, landing his hook is a very, very, very important, because you can make some very clutch plays with that ability. Here at level 5, we get to unlock his ultimate ability. It's called Skewer. It does 280 energy damage, a fair amount, in 2 attacks, and applies a stun for 1.3 seconds. That stun is very, very powerful. Use it again at the right time. You can enable a lot of really good plays to change kind of an engagement. So we're just going to stay here in this lane, going to level up a little bit more before we go back and try to be a little bit more with our team now once we get some more cards. So, as I said before, you can make a lot of, well, clutch plays with your Q if you can actually land it. So you saw there that I wasn't able to land it, was not able to pull a gadget here into my tower. If we can do that here, we will be able to stun the enemy here. If I can just get a good pull off. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to go right, try to body block this Twin Blast, try to see if we can make anything happen here. But nope, I was overextended and barely got out of there alive. So that means we have to go back here, get some health, spend that 4 card power. So 4 card power here. The interesting thing about this Lord's Ward is that it has no fully upgraded bonus, so we can actually really kind of skip all of this. We're going to go into the Elder Mage Amulet as our next card. Now, you might be wondering why we're going for some energy damage, health, and fully upgraded bonus of health, especially when this all energy damage upgrades, because damage here in the early game is actually very, very, very strong. Now, it doesn't necessarily go towards our tankiness at all. But what it does do is it enables us to, in these engagements, A, deal more damage to the enemy here in the early game, and that is very, very important for getting some kills, getting a numbers advantage, getting subsequently some lane advantage, and then hopefully some tower advantage, which can then snowball into the mid game and the late game. That is why damage here in the early game is so important, and it also will help us with these last hits, which are very, very important. That is why we're going for the Elder Mage Amulet. It is the most tanky of all of the damage cards available to us, so it is kind of the far damage we can go with, still kind of having a tanky focus. So here at level 6, we're going to actually go for our Q. We upgraded the Electrocute once, just to get a little bit of damage on these lanes, but now that we want that extra range in our Q, I'll be able to pull in this Feng Mao just like this, be able to use my right click to try to slow him down, but it looks like it didn't work. So here I'm just going to get some last hits, another 4 card power, and trying to just take down this tower. So I'm going to try to show you here a combination that you can use, like your right click, or sorry, your Q, your pull into your ultimate to stun them, using your right click to then do that silence, that max movement speed slow, and that extra damage as kind of a one huge kind of nuke for damage, stuns, and just obviously you can displace the enemy right into your team. As you saw, Gideon was able to get on that as well. Very strong combination that you can kind of use as a tank to dictate to your team who exactly you want dead, because it'll be very obvious with that hook going to the ultimate who you want dead. And it will make it very easy for your team to focus down to death. And here we can see that all of this pressure is definitely enabled us to get a good amount of damage here on this tower, and it looks like we will be able to secure the kill. Now, something about Riktor is that it looks like oh goodness, is that he doesn't have much for escapes. His ultimate is a stun. His right click is a max movement speed slow, and his Q only works to bring the enemy towards you. So there's not much of a escape mechanic to Riktor. You have to be very careful. You have to really judge when to engage, when not to engage, and he's a very good hero for you to learn about that. 7 card power, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be able to fully upgrade this Elder Mage Amulet. We now have 300 extra health, definitely help us here in the early game, but that 52 energy damage is what's going to keep us extremely powerful here in the early game, and also keep that offensive capabilities into the mid game, and it will definitely fall off in the late game. But at that point, we want to be more of a tank and fulfill that purpose, so that is okay. As for skill priorities, you can see that I fully upgraded our Q now. The range does increase with each upgrade, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is what's going to be able to secure some of these really good plays, so that you can, make a good pick on the enemy team, pull an enemy towards you. Here, I'm going to use my combination here on the howitzer and able to secure that kill. Just like that, able to really make sure we get a pick. I'm going to actually go to this right lane and see if we kill this Twin Blast. So here we go. We're going to take this damage from this Twin Blast. Going to pop my right click. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I temporarily forgot there. Twin Blast ultimate. We did interrupt it there right at the end with our right click, because it does have that silence. So very important that you remember that. I believe that silence was added in a recent patch. I don't think that it was. I think it just did the energy damage and max movement speed slow. So definitely don't forget about that very powerful silence in there. So here in the early game, with that extra damage from the Elder Mage Amulet and the 300 health, watch how... No, I am able to do that. Let's see. Oh, no mana for the combination there. Something that you definitely have to be aware of, because it's very easy to forget how much mana you have. Let's go back, spend these 6 card power. So before we start going into our tankiness here with these tempered plates and the tuned barriers, we need to do something very important. We have to analyze the enemy team. What is the composition of their damage? Feng Mao is a physical damage, Gadget is energy damage, Twin Blast is physical, Grux is physical, and Howitzer is energy. So we have energy, and 3 physical damages. So we're going to start off with the tempered plate. And actually, I'm going to do something I don't normally recommend here, is actually get both cards right off the bat and then build them according to the enemy composition. So what we actually want here is the cards that have the most resistances on them first. So as you can see, if you take a look at the upgrades, this one has a 3 energy damage, the 3 energy armor upgrade and 2 health, and this one has 3 health and 2 energy armor upgrades. We want this one with more of the energy armor on it. So we're going to go with that one. And this one here has 2 of the physical armor upgrades. We want that one. This will enable us to upgrade the tempered plate first, since the enemy team has more physical damage, and then we can go over to the tuned barrier and get that one. Why do we want both cards at the same time right now? Just so we get a little bit of that, the health, but more importantly, that resistances right off the bat. So let's take a look here at exactly what we can do with this howitzer. It is a 3v1, so I'm not going to be overly aggressive with my abilities. I'm just going to body block this howitzer to death and secure the kill. It's very important that we remain with our team now. That is where our value is really going to come into play. And so for a situation like this, we need to secure the kill on that gadget, but it's more important that we actually keep this Feng Mao in check, slow him down with that silence, make sure that we keep him here. Look at with that damage from the Elder Mage Amulet, able to really secure the kill, have a good amount of damage, and we're going to go after this Grux here, see where he is. We should be able, ladies and gentlemen, to secure this kill as well. He does have his escape. I'm going to use my E here. Let's use our pull. And there you go. So with that little bit of damage, it's very, very powerful here. Now that we're going into the mid-game, definitely helps with these last hits. As you can see, all of these last hits, very, very powerful to getting card power on your character. The build so far is pretty good. You can definitely argue that you want to upgrade your resistances fully first. Well, not like what we did is got both the tempered plate and the tuned barrier all at once. But I think having that balance between, especially when they have 3 physical damage and 2 energy damage heroes, I think that is actually very, very powerful here. We're going to actually have to use all of our stuns here just to stay alive, try to see if that Rampage can secure the kill, but it looks like he can. That is okay, we have 6 card power, so let's go back. So, as I said, they have 3 physical damage heroes versus 2 energy damage, so we're going to upgrade this tempered plate first. We're going to go here with the greater health and guard just to use as much of that card power as possible. But what we can also do here is go guard, go over to the tuned barrier, and get a barrier. Keep it somewhat balanced here, more guard than the barrier, just to keep the resistances even across all of the enemy team. Something that I always recommend, ladies and gentlemen, is if there is nothing imperative on the map, so you can take a look on the mini-map. We do have a Feng Mao there pressuring our mid lane, but if you are going by your harvesters, stop by, grab them very quickly, and then head to the middle of the map. So watch this, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be very close. Not able to get that hook there, but it looks like this Feng Mao is still going to go in. We're going to try to get in between him and the tower, because if he attacks me, that will make the tower attack him, but looks like I'm going to be able to, secure that kill. Very nice stun by that Rampage, and there we go. Wanted to dive the tower, but wasn't able to do enough damage to secure the kill. So now that we've upgraded our Electrocute twice there in the early game, just for a little bit of early lane advantage, now we are going opposite. I've fully upgraded our Riplash, our pull there on our Q, and almost fully upgraded the Shock Therapy. Just because that CC, that control over the enemy team, is actually quite important here. Let's actually get our combination off, but very nicely done on that Howitzer, able to use his mine to stop our combination. There's a good stun there by the Rampage. He did just use his mine. Oh, this Twin Blast, though. Let's give him the Riktor combo. Ooh, very nice pull by the enemy Grux, though. Not able to do very much. Let's see, we're taking quite a bit of damage. I think we can finish off this Twin Blast. I'm trying to body block him, so friendly team can secure the kill there. The Gideon uses the ultimate. Let's come in here. I'm going to try to pick off the Howitzer. There we go. Get behind him, body block him for a friendly team to pick him off. There we go. Trying to be a nuisance here. The Grux should have gone. And there we go. Very good engagement here. That Muriel is really, really helping us with the shields and that sustain. So we have our pull once again, ladies and gentlemen. Here, let's really secure this Feng Mao's fate, bring him all the way back, right into the middle of our team. We're taking quite a bit of damage from this gadget. She's definitely going to be worrisome because we're not upgrading energy armor, energy resistances as much as we are for physical damage, but she does go down. This is a perfect time now to dive this tower and kill it. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, that crowd control that Riktor has absolutely dictates the course of the battle. You can take enemies out very easily, displace them very easily. You can really dictate to your team who you want dead simply by a pull and simply by using your ability. So here, let's try this on the Twin Blast. I didn't quite get it this rampage. Hopefully we'll be able to get out. Yes, he does. Very, very nice. I'm going to simply stay here, try to get a little bit more card power before we go back. I want 6 just before we go back. So with the 6 card power, we're going to finish off this Tempered Plate and then move on to the Tuned Barrier. As you can see, I really would like to use this 3 card power, so we're going to actually go ahead and get this greater health here on the Tuned Barrier. We do have, after this, some interesting upgrades here on the Lord's Ward. We do have a bit of an advantage over the enemy team, so if we do decide to divert just temporarily on upgrading from our tanky cards and upgrades, that should be okay. 3 card power, ladies and gentlemen, taking down the right lane tower, sticking with our friendly team, and making use of our cooldown, our stuns and crowd control abilities. You're going to get this barrier here, fully upgraded Tuned Barrier and Tempered Plate. Very, very nice. With this tankiness, we should be able to come over here and get some very interesting upgrades. This the advanced chrono and this chrono will enable us to use our abilities quicker, and which will be very, very strong for that pull, for the slow on our right click, and our silence as well. So very powerful there. And this mana, surprisingly, very much needed, as once you use your Riktor combo, your Q into your ultimate into your right click, and then your E, it's a lot of mana, actually. So you pretty much half your health has been depleted, half of your mana has been used when you do that. So that will be very nice here. Now that we have 4 card power already, we'll simply wait as we push down this middle tower. Fuck you! Alrighty! Trying to record this, but doesn't seem to be working, so hopefully we will certainly get this kill here on this Feng Mao. Look at our tankiness go now. Let's try to finish this Feng Mao off. Was able to use my hook there, the damage there, 276 to take out that Feng Mao. I have to be really careful now. Don't want to take too much poke damage from this howitzer. He is very good at that. So just trying to wait until our pull. Can I actually land it? Yes, I can. He is done for there with my ultimate. Very nicely done. Using that pull, ladies and gentlemen, to secure those kills, decide who dies in these team fights. Very, very powerful. Able to hopefully get this tower. No, we aren't. This Gideon wasn't doing very much damage here. I forced to go back once more. With 7 card power, I'm going to simply go here and fully upgrade this Lord's Ward. This chrono, this cooldown reduction is going to be very nice, and that mana very much needed before we go into our very last tanky cards here. I'm going to go with this Tempered Plate first, followed by this Tuned Barrier. Alrighty. Yeah. There you go. Being able to take a retreating enemy and securing the kill. So I think you guys can kind of get the whole kind of really strength of Riktor being able to focus down the enemy, pick out one hero that you want dead, preferably a squishy hero or one that's running away, and simply use that crowd control to just enable your team to take them up. The Q into the R, into the right click, into the E, using your huge body that you can see that we have. We are a very large hero here in Paragon, using that body to body block. He's a large hero, so it should be not that hard, especially to body block. So this gadget came in from behind, already at a disadvantage, trying to get away. Look how long that fully upgraded right click slows that gadget for quite a long time. I'm going to stick away, try not to, but now that the Thing Mao is engaged here, I'm going to actually stop him from retreating, use our combo here. Look at that. Very, very strong. Trying to protect our damage dealers here. I want to stay in the way. Oh, that's okay. You can do that, Twin Blast. Look at how little damage we're taking as we have those physical armor, and I should be able to finish him off with the Q. Look at that. Not a smart move there, going in on a 1v2, able to very easily take him on. You can see that our tankiness is definitely up there. With here in the end game, with these Rangers dealing a lot of damage, we're going to be able to negate most of that with our 2 other tanky cards that we have coming up. 9 card power, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go here for the Tempered Plate and the Tune Barrier, doing our strategy from before and kind of keeping it a little bit balanced. So I'm going to go with the Greater Guard here on the Tempered Plate for that increased resistances, and also finish it off here with some health. We'll go next into the Greater Barrier and all of this. Actually, sorry, no. We're going to finish it off with the health here on this card to get that fully upgraded bonus, then move over here to the Tune Barrier, get this, and then the health. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have to cut this guide a bit short here as my son seems to be away. So, essentially, like I said, we're going to go and finish off this Tempered Plate for that fully upgraded bonus, since the enemy has mostly physical damage. Going to go into this Tune Barrier, finish this one off, and then once, as you can see, we already have 1 inhibitor down. Once you have definitely 1 inhibitor down and you're down to maybe 2 inhibitors only, you can definitely replace this Lord's Ward simply because you might not necessarily need that, need the vision. Now, this Pendulum of Lords does basically the same thing as this Lord's Ward, except it'll have a little bit different of a composition. It'll have a little bit more health, it'll have a little bit less mana, and about the same cooldown reduction. So that increased health will definitely help you with being a tank. So basically, you're trading a little bit of mana for some health. That should really, really help here in the late game. So that is the very last card that you could get if you're feeling like you don't need that vision. There's a guide, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it was very helpful, and hopefully you saw just how powerful Riktor can be with his crowd control. If you were able to use that, pick off the enemy, kind of designate to your team, this person is dead, should be a very, very nice hero for you to play. Please like the video if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. Please share it with the community, and of course subscribe. If you found this helpful or you simply enjoyed the video, I wanted to be able to do it for you in the future. So please subscribe, and like always, take care.